That's Ringlets from their new album, The Lord is My German Shepherd, Time for Walkies. The Auckland-based post-punk band's guitarist, Lázsló Reynolds, shares his thoughts on that album title, being labeled post-punk, and what excites him about release day.
I'm excited for other people to like make it their own thing.
Right?
I've got my own opinion on what I like and dislike about it, but as soon as other people hear it, that just kind of disappears, and then people do things with it that are like that's always very unexpected. Yeah,
Right.
my least favorite songs always become everyone's favorites.
All right. So with an answer like that, I have to ask you what your high points and low points of the record are at this point before everyone's had their chance to inundate you with their opinions.
Have you heard it?
Of course.
Oh, right, yeah. Uh, I think Rolling Blunts on the Dresden Codex is like I think that's like a quite a beautiful song.
Right?
I think it's track 6 or 7 or something. But
I believe it is
that's like,
five.
oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, yeah. I like that one. I like the atmosphere, the atmospheric sort of element.
For the lowly price of everything you have, you are the moment. I'll arrive in you. Big game, my kind of talk. Slanjava, oh tell me more. Because I'm worth it, because I've earned it.
I like the more aggressive songs like Street Massage and Half an Idiot. I think that's I mean that's our strong suit when we play live is to
Yes.
just like get really feral. And I think it was captured pretty
Is it,
well. So yeah.
is it hard to work up that kind of lather in the studio and not in front of adoring fans that you tend to do?
Um I'm trying to remember when we recorded those ones. I
Okay.
think we played them probably, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 times. No, I think we did. I think we just did them in the morning, so I think we were like a bit caffeinated, and yeah, the necessity of getting it down, I think, just kind of it fueled us, I guess. Yeah,
Right, right. And you do get a bit unhinged on the last track on this year's hottest movie as well.
yeah, yeah.
Who wants to blow my trumpet? What about you? You look like you know your way around a hunk of brass. Have you seen it? Oh, what do you mean you haven't seen it yet? It is this year's hottest movie.
It's a bit more sort of buttoned down, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
still
it was
pretty,
kind of it reminded me of
weird.
David Byrne, which is a perfect. He's kind of a button-down
Oh, great.
nut job,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the best
yeah.
possible way, of course.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you recorded it at the lab. What was that like? Had you been there before? I know this is your second album.
Yeah, yeah. So it was same studio and same engineer as the first. So it was at the lab with Ollie Harmer.
Right?
So we met him in 2022 when he did our first album, and we none of us knew much about him before that, but he was just so incredible that we were just really keen to have him on again. And it was just really streamlined. We had more time in the studio this time. We had about double the amount of time as the
Right?
first one. So, but yeah, we just knew that he was like that mixing desk that is in his studio. Like he knows every single wire in that thing, and he's just so capable, and he's just really peaceful
Right.
guy to be
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time we got Michael Logie to sort of help us with a bit of sort of co-production
Right.
from the Mint Chicks.
And
So that was that
what did
was
he
that.
bring to the table?
He was just He just had like he just had a very like objective um view on a lot of things because he was hearing everything new, and so he was able to like sort of recalibrate us when we were sort of getting into a bit of a dead end. If we're like sort of if we you get to a point where you can't tell if new takes are like actually improving anything.
Right.
And so he was very useful in just kind of like keeping us on track. And he was also very useful for sort of guiding like vocal direction.
Okay.
Um, there was one point where like I think Leith was just singing one syllable, and he was like, why don't you just change the pronunciation? And then so he was just able to like pinpoint things like that.
Right. It's always
Um,
good to have a little perspective, outside perspective, because you probably heard those songs a billion times, and that's just the way they sound to you.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So it sounds like, you have the same personnel, you're recording in the same studio with the same engineer, but the band has been around for a while now. It's been a few years since the first album. How are you if you are a different band than you were the first time around?
Yeah, I think we have a flavor now that's like it's been reducing for a couple of years.
Okay.
With the first album, it was like we booked this studio time, and it was like we had 10 songs that we could play from start to finish.
Yeah.
That was our entire thing, and it was like, well, we'll try record as many as we can with the time that we have, and if eight of them come out right and we can't get two, well, then it's going to be 8 tracks, or if we can only get six down, it's going to be a 6 track, EP or whatever.
Right.
But this time we had a surplus of material, so we recorded 13 songs, and
Nice.
we selected 10 for the album. And and this time it was like, yeah, the first one was like, we wanted to be a band, and so we needed something to play. So I was like, well, I have these songs that I've already written with all the words. Let's just play them. And then so that's about half of the album, and then the other half is we're starting to write things on the fly. And so I Used to Paint was kind of like that was kind of the first song where it was like an unfinished riff that I had that we like extrapolated, and then Leith wrote all the words and completely directed what he did with the vocals. So that I Used to Paint, and so there's a reason that we made it track one, is because it's like that's the best song on the album. So that was like the nascent sound, and
Right.
so the album is just like an extension and like a refinement of what we started to do with songs like that on the first album.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. But does it feel like anything has changed within the band, music-wise, the way you interact, the way you think about the band these days from before?
Um, yeah, I think we're like we know each other a bit more now, and it's a bit more kind of, yeah, I think it's a little bit more streamlined. It feels like we were writing more quickly
Yep.
this time. Um, and yeah, it just there's a lot of material, and like I write a lot of music, and I put a lot of music out under my own name and under other names, and now when I've written something, it's very immediately clear if it's Ringlets or if
Right.
it's anything else. But
Gotcha.
I know very very quickly like what I'm going to present to them and what we're going to build,
Okay.
and we're going to use that as material to build from. So yeah.
Okay. Now, I think you were instrumental or had something to do with the artwork and the art direction of the record. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's my hand
And
on
so
the
what is
cover.
it? There's some kind of branch or thing that people are holding, someone's holding. What is the significance of that? What are we looking at there? Because it's in the video too of one of the songs.
But yeah, it's in the street massage video.
Yeah.
I guess the idea followed on from Leith's idea for the title of the album, and
Yeah.
so there was in some kind of superficial sense, it was like a fetch stick for a dog, but then it was also I'm really into the tarot cards, and it was this one card kept coming up in 2023, and it was the Ace of Wands, and it's like this hand holding this rough wand.
Right.
So that image kept sort of pursuing me. So I pruned. There's this olive tree that's growing over from the neighbor's backyard. So I pruned it, and then I peeled off the bark and the pith, and I lathered it in olive oil maybe 6 or 7 times and let
Right.
it dry in the sun. And so it looks kind of it looks smooth, almost like a bone.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah, and then I went out to my friend's place out on the west coast in Muriwai, and my sister Raina took the photos, and I don't know why. I just thought I thought it would just be like a good image, but I like made my hand all filthy,
Right.
and I was also wearing like a shirt and a suit jacket, so it looks like this filthy hand just like gripping this branch. So yeah, that's how that came together. Yeah.
Right. And you mentioned the title of the record, "The Lord is My German Shepherd, Time for Walkies." So is that is Leith's work, is it? What does it mean to you? What should it mean to us?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think he suggested it, and then no one sought to topple him from
Right.
that. So we just kind of we just kind of we just needed we needed a title.
Right.
And yeah, I don't well, I don't know. It just sounds quite like positive to me. It's kind of like calling on the Lord, and like the Lord is like, you know, it's like this playful dog you're taking for a walk. I don't know. It seems like it's like this call to like engage in this playful way with the cosmos or
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, whenever people write about you, and I've certainly done the same thing, the term post-punk always comes up. And I see it's even in your press stuff now that you're with Flying Nun and all that. Are you that must be something you're comfortable with? What does it mean to you? And do you think about that when you're playing and when you're writing?
Um, I'm I'm pretty comfortable with the need to just sort of put labels on things
Okay.
if you want to sell them. And I mean, post it, punk rock has been and gone, so literally anything post that is post punk.
Yep.
We're in a, it's a very just sort of, I mean, yeah, it's like it's kind of palatable at the moment, like in the current sort of musical landscape, but it doesn't mean that much to me. It's just whatever.
Right.
It's part of my like the music that I grew up listening to. So I kind of it's just very sort of prosaic and sort of it almost doesn't describe the sound
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like indie rock
but
is turned into. What does that mean anymore, you know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So it's almost completely like meaningless term. But that's fine because then we
Whatever.
can do what we want, basically. Yeah, yeah.
All right. And it sounds like you have because even the first track, Posh Girl Holds a Whip, to me, as soon as that started, I had visions of the Velvet Underground dancing in my head. Are you,
Oh, great, great.
tell me, what can you tell me about the track? How did it come together? Why is it the lead off?
Um, we actually weren't. We had one suggestion for track listing that we were sort of seems like we could have settled on that didn't actually include the song at all.
Okay.
Um,
That's interesting.
but then but then I often I sort of consult this friend of mine I have on the internet who's called Chris Ott, and um he's like a used to be a music journalist. And I sent it to him,
There's a
and
good
he was
future in
like,
that. I like they used to be.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I sent him the track list, but then I also included the folder with the outtakes.
Right?
And he was like, no, 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 you need to put this back on the album, and you need to make it the
The-
opening track.
right. Okay.
You have to do this. And then I was kind of like, and then everyone else, suggested it to the rest of the band, and they were ultimately all like, oh yeah, that's a good suggestion. So I mean, and now that we've made it track one, I couldn't imagine it being anywhere else.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just like I think it's a good sort of signal for like what we are currently. Like it's pretty slow. Like it's just very steady.
Yep. It's got a
And
kind
we
of a
we
drone. Well, I was hearing the drone thing, which is why
yeah.
The Velvet Underground came to mind.
Yeah, I love drones. I love the drone in music. The guitar drone, the sort of the down tuning, the
Right?
heavy, the low drone is like really exciting thing for me. And it's just kind of yeah, it kind of like the first album's quite like frenetic, a lot of fast songs, but there's not many fast songs on this new one. It's a bit sort of slower and sort of darker and groovier. And
They
so
tend
that
to build up
yeah,
more. They build up steam and get a little crazy at the end, but start someplace else.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And as a guitar player, who do you look to as influences, idolize, if anybody? How do you approach your guitar playing? Has it changed from earlier?
Yeah, well, I've kind of been stuck on the guitar for a very long time. I've played guitar in so many bands, and I've always wanted to be on the drums.
Oh, okay.
Like me and Leith's band before Ringlets, I was on drums, and
Ah.
I loved it. But now we have Arlo, who's one of the best drummers ever. So now I have to accept that. But I mean the guitar is a drum. So
Right.
I play it. I like to
Percussion
play if
instrument.
you yeah, if you play it I like if you're in the pocket like rhythmically, then that's really good guitar playing. So not that I'm not gonna say anything like like I play it like I'm playing a drum kit, because I'm the only like source of melody apart from singing
Right.
in this lineup. So I do have to like have a melodic sensibility is like that's very non-percussive. But yeah, I like to sort of combine the having the like exactitude of like playing tight and rhythmically and in time and lockstep with the rhythm section. But I also have a lot of weird tunings that like allow me to fill up a lot of space, because I
Right.
can leave a lot of strings open to drone and to ring out. Um, so I'm kind of so it can get complicated. Like I can have quite like a stressful time on stage live, trying to make sure that all of this is happening at the same time,
All right.
happening
Yeah.
well.
Do you have a
But
favorite
yeah.
moment on stage, a show that stands out over the past few years?
Um, Playing Newtown Festival earlier this year was really a massive highlight. That was in March,
Uh-huh.
and we'd played the night before in Hamilton, which fucking sucked. Um,
Was it because it was
but then we
Hamilton or because it was you?
It was both. We sunk to the challenge definitely
There
that
you
night.
go.
Um, but and then we went down the next day, and it was Newtown Festival, and it was a beautiful hot sunny day, and
Mm.
we were on the Wilson Street, I think it's called the Wilson Street stage.
Right.
And we were up on this high stage, and there was just and it was like almost 7 p.m. So it was like this beautiful baking hot evening sun on
Yeah.
us that was going down,
Right.
and there was just like this huge throng of people, and we played really well, and that like put a lot of wind in our sails,
Oh,
definitely.
good. Yeah, that's all right. Now I feel like we've talked about everybody but Arabella on bass, so let's talk about hers. What
Yeah, yeah.
obviously she's been with the band as long as everyone else has. How does what does she add other than plunking around on those four strings?
Yeah, so she brings a lot of building blocks of ideas of songs that
Right.
that ultimately become songs.
Right.
Um, and she's sung lead vocals on at least one song on both albums.
Right.
And recently we haven't done it yet, but we've been talking about a duet.
Oh,
So
there you go.
the both of them writing their own words in one song.
Uh-huh.
So we haven't accomplished it yet, but we've talked about it. Um, but yeah. So she's definitely one of the as I've been as I've been stepping back, because when we started before the first album, I was actually singing lead vocals. Um, and that's partly the reason why roughly half of the first album I wrote the words for, but then I handed the mic to Leith, and so I'm as I move further and further back, it's Arabella and Leith who are sort of like the
Picking up the
more of the
space.
like the composers.
Right.
Yeah,
So it feels like it's more of a band thing, I guess, than
yeah,
Lázsló and the other
definitely.
guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And you mentioned you do some other stuff on your own. What does that do for you? Why do you go and make things that aren't ringlets related?
Well, if I well, the band involves a lot of like compromise and sort of giving up certain sort of precious things that me or one of the others might have, because that's part of the sort of democracy of it. But if I just make music by myself, then I can be as indulgent as I want, just according to my own sort of wishes.
Right?
And so and then so like the band and my solo music, they're very very separate voices and sounds, which is good, and they can both be them what they are, and they don't step on each other. But yeah, I've put out about 5 albums under my own name. I've got the masters back for the next one, and I've got
Huh?
a bunch more. I've got heaps more written. I'm writing shit all the time.
What's
Um,
driving you to write? What inspires you, motivates you?
Um, I don't know. I practice. I practice regularly, and I learn other people's songs, or I just noodle around, and I just am always coming up with riffs and then connecting them to other parts, and it's just fun. Like I just it's challenging, but I'm just doing it a lot of the time. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a
very good.
hobby, I guess.
Well, does it feel like a hobby or does it feel like a way of life, a career?
I'm not sure about career, but vocation, yeah, like, way of life, yeah, definitely, yeah,
Are you happy with that?
yeah, yeah. I've been trying to remove as many conditions as possible around my like creating, because if you do it for approval from other people, well, that's not going to work.
Right.
I would have given up years ago, but
Right.
I just have to stay with the sort of the purity of the immediate moment of making something that you think is good, and
Right.
then just letting that feed you, is like that's how you can continue on through the uncertainty of trying to present it to people, or try to make it into something that's more kind of, I don't know, official or like big or something.
Or commercial or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very good. All righty. Well, this is all very. When are you playing again? Then, do you have gigs coming up?
Yeah. We're playing a New Zealand tour, which is happening in August.
Okay.
The first weekend of August, and then the second weekend of August. And then we're also going to fuck it. I'll just like we're going to Australia as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
As long as you come back.
We're definitely coming back. We're playing Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane and multiple shows in each of those cities.
Nice.
And so that's in late August, early September.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.